Hello and welcome to this very special episode of Hot Commodities. Traditionally, marking an investment on Akshaya Tritiya is known to be sacred. It brings abundance in life and relationships. In India, this is considered to be an auspicious day to buy gold. I'm Manisha Gupta, and this Akshaya Tritiya, we have with us a very special panel, and we begin by discussing demand levels this day. I have with me Rajeev Popley, who's Director, Popley Sons. Also joining us is Sheth, who's CMD, Tara Jewels. And in studios, I have with me Vijay Bhambwani, who's author and CEO at BSPL India. Vijay, starting with you first, and what's your sense really coming in? Is it a good time to buy into gold and silver? Because we have seen declines on back of strong dollar and also expectation of a Fed rate hike.
Good evening, Manisha. I'll begin with wishing all our viewers a very, very happy and prosperous Akshaya Tritiya from this year to the next. And coming to your question about whether I would buy gold or silver on this auspicious day, maybe for a sentimental / religious reasons, I might just advocate somebody to buy token or shagun amounts of gold or silver. But in pure investment terms, I wouldn't want to bet the bank on either one of these bullion precious metals, because I expect the demand to remain subdued, because the risk appetite or the risk on trade is clearly in the high risk financial assets rather than hard assets. So 1 year to the next, I don't really expect earth shaking or earth shattering returns on bullion.
Fair point that, but let's also get a check from the market on what kind of buying we have seen during the day today. Rajeev, hi. Akshaya Tritiya demand is expected to be higher this year. We've heard about those footfalls, shops opening at 7:30 a.m. in the morning today. What's your sense on the buying?
Yes, definitely. I think this Akshaya Tritiya, the advance booking has been excellent. So we are definitely going to have, I would say, probably a 20% increase in gold sales.
Rajeev, also, what are people buying and what are you advising them to buy? Is it gold coins or is it more about jewelry, lightweight jewelry at that?
Compared to last year, obviously, we're on a much better note. Whereas markets are concerned, the optimism is very high with the new government, and policies have been quite impressive, whereas the jewelry industry is concerned so far now. So we're looking at a much better Akshaya Tritiya this year. To start with, there's availability of gold which was not there last year. So that's a good sign for us to start with. Growth-wise, we're looking anywhere close to 15–20% growth compared to last year.
Sure. Rajeev, also there are lots of discounts as always. There are waivers on making charges. You also have buy a diamond jewelry and get a gold coin or a silver coin free. Do you see all of that happening this time around too?
That's a perennial subject. You know, the industry has this lucrative aspect of discounting as an availability, and consumers look forward to a good price deal. We work down packages for our loyalty members on prices and special offers, but that's over an icing on the actual subject. So the core aspect is that the markets are positive and the demand is strong. An icing to that is always the offers.
Sure deal. But in the past year, the prices really haven't moved much. And as Vijay was also pointing out, prices can be on the weaker side for a longer time. Then Rajeev, whatever happens today is really purely because of the sentimental value, wouldn't you say?
Well, very honestly, the fact that gold hasn't moved up has helped. But definitely, the cultural value of Akshaya Tritiya plays an important role. Over and above that, I think like me, everybody else is feeling pretty bullish about the economy, bullish about the new government and what is in store for us in the future.
So Rajeev, what are people buying today then? Is it just about gold? Because that of course is priority, the primary thing to start buying. But is it about silver, diamond, platinum, paper gold? Are that also on radar?
I personally believe that India is predominantly a gold buying country. So I don't see much growth in the area of silver, or for that matter platinum, but definitely with gold you see studded jewelry, which would be naturally first diamonds and then other colored stones. So I see there being a shift definitely towards diamond studded jewelry.
So gold and diamonds it is. But Rajeev, are you seeing a growth on retail outlets? I mean, of course, as you pointed out, as both of you pointed out, that as compared to past year, we definitely are looking at better demand here. What's your price outlook now for this year? Do you see a 5, 10, 15% of a growth coming in?
We can look at a growth figure as of now for around 15-20% growth on the retail offtake. At the same time, we can speculate a gold price increase which would go in the range of around 28,000 upwards down in the year, and that's what we would feel as a constant growth coming in the metal.
Vijay, getting you back in here, of course, we talked about gold and diamond, but what's your sense now coming in for silver? Is that a better idea of buying? Would you say that ETFs perhaps is yet another way of putting in money if somebody had to and was looking at the sentimental value of it?
Manisha, where ETFs are concerned, you don't really have too much of a choice because ETFs are available only in gold. And as for your first question, is silver a better bet than gold? I do think that silver is a better bet than gold. Being a high beta commodity, it offers more fluctuation and therefore tends to overshoot or undershoot prices of gold. But like I mentioned even yesterday, I don't expect silver to give you any kind of significant returns to write home about unless you're taking a 3 to 4 year time frame in perspective. So in the absolute near term, whether you buy gold or silver, your returns are likely to be somewhat identical with a minor variation here and there. So unless you're taking a 3 to 4 year view, no. But over that time period, I'm optimistic that silver will outperform gold.
All right, with that view, let's get in another guest. And we are now joined by Sameer Sagar, who's Director, Manubhai Jewellers, and he joins us on a phone line right now. Hi, what's your sense, Sameer, now coming in? What kind of demand have you seen? What are people buying? And would you say the day is just about started because evening is the time when you actually see much of the rush coming in?
Yeah, I mean, this Akshaya Tritiya, what happened was the buying already started a week back. So customers were coming in, booking their orders. Because what happens with bangles and certain sets, they are made to order. So we saw customers coming in about a week ago and booking their jewelry already for the Akshaya Tritiya festival. Today, there is a lot of movement in the chains and the bangle section. And customers have been steadily building since morning. So right now, it's a packed store.
Sameer, we hate to keep you too long away from your customers, but quickly, is it gold coins that people buy more because that has less making charges? Wouldn't people want to move on to that?
The thing is, jewelry is something that people can wear on various occasions. They can pass it on to their daughters-in-law. Coin no longer, when people are moving out of just keeping some gold in the locker, they actually want to use jewelry. Also, we've been actively persuading the clients to buy jewelry rather than coins. As you know, you can use the usability much more.
Fair point, Sameer. We'll let you go at that. Thank you so much for that update. So that's the kind of buying coming in Mumbai markets there. But let's get in a Delhi perspective. And joining us now is Sanjeev Agarwal, who is CEO, Gitanjali Exports Corporate Limited. And he joins us on a Delhi phone line. Sanjeev, hi, good to have you. What's your sense? Are people buying, or is it more about sentimental buying, investment, or jewelry? What do you see?
Manisha, I'm in Delhi today, as you mentioned, and I've been doing the rounds of both our Gitanjali stores as well as some of my friends' stores across the jewelry trade. And I'm quite pleasantly surprised that the demand this time for serious jewelry seems to be much higher than just coins as a token of purchase. That's one. Second, observation has been that people have been booking their requirements in North India since the last 1 week, 10 days, rather than waiting for the Akshaya Tritiya itself because of the concern that the prices might just ease up a little bit. So they've been making the purchase and booking much before. And in our own stores, in Gitanjali stores, I'm surprised to see that 6 out of 10 and going up to 7 out of 10 customers have gravitated more towards diamond jewelry. And I've been buying diamond jewelry as a preference over gold, given the fact that the diamond jewelry prices are less volatile and have been the purchase ability to purchase a high value jewelry of diamond has become more affordable as compared to what it used to be some time back. So also, if you look at coins as an investment and investment purchases itself, over the last 1 year, offtake of gold coins and bars in India has dropped by about 40%. So that sort of dovetails with the trend that we are seeing in the stores, that consumers are going towards serious jewelry rather than just a token purchase.
Sure. Sanjeev, also, is there a number that the markets are working with right now? Because geographically talking, somebody said 7% of a demand gain up, somebody said 25% on the higher side as well.
What I'm seeing in North India and Delhi in particular, it should be in the region of at least about 20% plus. And we'll have to wait and see till the day end as to how numbers pan up. So, but it is bullish compared to last year, definitely much better.
We'll take your word for that, Sanjeev. Thank you so much for joining us with that update. With that, we'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll be joined with many other guests, and we'll get you further updates and buying trends coming in for this Akshaya Tritiya. Welcome back, and joining us on the show now are Mr. KP Singh, who's former ADG, Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. Also joining us is Somasundaram PR, who's MD, World Gold Council, and Vijay, of course, continues to be with us in this special episode. Vijay, I want you to take a look at this screenshot that we're going to show now, because from 2001 to 2011, it was positive gains constantly coming in for the gold prices, anywhere between 10 to 15%. It's only from 2012 onwards that we have seen a declining trend coming in. Would you rather watch the last 10, 11 years or the recent 3 years?
Manisha, the first lesson in behavioral finance is about recency bias. You tend to look at what has happened in the recent past rather than go decades back and look at how the good times in the good old days were. So as an investor, I would look at what has happened beyond 2011 onwards. Let's not forget, silver peaked out in May 2011, and gold thereafter has basically also been dragged down. Silver led the way down, of course, but an investor has not really got positive returns after 2011. If he was to buy in the futures, he would definitely bleed to death, because cost of carry in India is unfortunately in the vicinity of 20% per annum. And a bank FD rate is 9% per annum. You're paying more than 2 times a bank FD rate to roll over your long positions from one settlement to the other, get negative returns both in terms of cost of carry and capital depreciation. So for bulls, it's not really been a good time, and I doubt if it's going to turn around in the absolute near term.
Okay, so 2015 is something to watch out for to ensure what is the kind of trend we are looking at. But ET Now's Krishna Kumar caught up with Deepak Tulsiani from Dwarkadas Chandumal on what has been the trend in the market today.
The sales hopefully look increasing this year, as gold is cheaper almost by 10% this year compared to last year. With the good policies by the government come in, people are in a very cheered up mood to buy. And luckily this Akshaya Tritiya is during that time of the year, a lot of wedding festival is on the head, you know. So we see a lot of positivity in the people. Still you can see this morning showrooms have been crowded. People are coming in big numbers to buy. And hopefully we look for a nice heavy sales today.
Right. I'm asking this because the gold prices same time last year in Akshaya Tritiya was 30,000 rupees. Now it's 26,000 rupees per 10 grams. Tell us how much is that helping sales, and how much of an increase in sales this Akshaya Tritiya do you see as compared to last year?
Gold being cheaper almost at 10 to 15% this year really helps the pocket of a common consumer. People who have collected money for the wedding can buy at least 10 to 15% more of jewelry this year compared to last year. And especially this year, there are a lot of new collections coming, you know, lightweight range. People can buy more jewelry for the same price. So we see at least around 30 to 40% more sales compared to last year.
How many more relaxations in terms of these rules on imports and sale of gold are concerned?
We're looking at a lot of changes coming up in the further next budget, you know. The government is just new, it's just first year, you know. Hopefully by the next budget, they will come up with a relaxation of the 80-20 scheme also. So far, what the government has done, a lot of positivity put in the people. We have seen the buying power of people going higher and higher. And hopefully this government should do a lot of good for the coming industry here.
Well, that's about new launches, new collections and schemes, of course, on Akshaya Tritiya. But let's talk some policy now. And joining us is KP Singh, former ADG, Department of Revenue, MOF. Mr. Singh, hi, good to have you on the show. The weakening gold prices has, of course, led to gold buying into the very short term. First of all, what's your sense on that?
Currently, current account deficit is quite comfortable in position, so government can definitely look for a more corrective measures which can benefit the industry, consumers and all the people who are in the trade.
Mr. Singh, yet another thing, of course, you pointed about CAD there, but yet another thing has been the PAN card regulation, and there are concerns of that impacting gold buying, not today, of course, but going forward.
Introducing PAN requirement is one of the reasons for, that people have to code the PAN. This is one small step to curb the parallel economy, to curb the black economy. And India is under a lot of international obligation. It is also facing a lot of heat due to the civil society. Parliamentary debates are going on that the use of cash has to be reduced in transaction. So we have to look from that point of view, and this is the part of the larger reforms where the contribution and generation of black money is to be controlled.
Mr. Singh, yes, and today's Akshaya Tritiya, and while people are going out and buying in the physical market, I'm not too sure on whether the government likes it or not. So, Mr. Singh, what's your sense? While we still are awaiting for the monetization fine print, will that come? Will that start impacting by next Akshaya Tritiya?
Once the monetization schemes are introduced with less stringent measures and the source and investigation are not part of the scheme, so in that case, I have got a feeling that a lot of gold will be declared by the people, and once it is declared, then it will enter the mainstream economy, and then once the gold becomes a part of the mainstream economy, then even our import of the gold will be reduced.
So I'm getting you in the conversation also, while we are talking with or working with very bullish figures on this Akshaya Tritiya and sense of demand, but we also are looking at a crop damage, and that will impact the rural buying this Akshaya Tritiya. Would that impact the total demand number then?
Well, definitely the unfortunate, unseasonal rains at this point in time, and the expectation of cut in rural demand is there across all categories, including gold. But I think on the other side, you see that the urban demand is perhaps driven by much more positive sentiment. So how it pans out, we will have to see. But yes, I would think that the rural demand will be muted because of what has happened due to the unseasonal rains.
Sure. That's another factor that also is weighing on, and that's the rally in equity markets. Do you see then gold attracting less money?
Yeah, I think gold is bought, as you are aware, for many reasons, economic and social. So wherever the economic factors are not exactly, they don't look overtly positive, I think they get de-emphasized and the social factors pick up. So I would think that gold buying will not, in India particularly, will not be affected by how the equity markets behave. There is no direct correlation. So yes, of course, some money will get diverted, but gold will always have its place in the portfolio of savings of a household, and that is very difficult to change in the short run.
So final question before we let you go, Soman. This is about the Indian final demand numbers expectation for all of 2015. Has that changed, or is your number still 900 tons?
We still maintain 900 to 1,000 against 842 tons last year, which is a modest increase, about 10 to 15%. And there are no reasons to change that estimate because we still have a whole year to go. And we see that overall there are positive sentiments in the economy. If you weigh the positive and the negative factors on a scale, I think positive factors outweigh the negative. So, and whenever there is economic growth, we have seen gold demand goes up. So, given that macro trend, we believe 900 to 1,000 seems very realistic at this point in time.
All right, so we will take a look on that. 900 to 1,000 tons of a demand expected to continue in 2015 as well. But while everybody is telling you that, yes, there's lots of buying coming in, let's get in a look from what the brokers are saying. If you were to buy gold now, it always has been a phenomena that when you buy gold, it has to be a longer term thing, 1 year, 3 years, or perhaps 5 years as well. We got some views from Nirmal Bang, Kotak Commodities, and Angel Broking, etc. And all of them feel that perhaps 2015 could end with a gain of 5 to 10%. But going forward in 2016, 2017, you perhaps could see a price as high as 27,000 to 30,000 on the higher side as well. Of course, all of these brokers are advising that you perhaps you should be holding gold for the next 3 to 5 years in the market there. That, of course, is the view coming in from Anand Rathi. They expect the prices to bottom at 24,500 rupees. You have SMC saying that 32,000 rupee of a possibility on the higher side in next 3 years is not ruled out. Of course, the other brokers are pretty much on the same line. Lower side at around 25,000, higher side at 32,000 is how they seem to be really putting it in. Vijay, as long as that much, would you agree with all of these brokerage views?
Manisha, over a 3 to 4 year time frame, I would expect bullion to give you good returns. Much will depend upon how the currencies are doing. I would expect the pro-cyclicality, which I talked about in the end of December 2013, as far as I'm concerned, it began there. The ultimate destination of all pro-cyclical markets with the deleveraging bias is that money is to go to safe havens, and which better safe haven than gold or silver. So as and when the pro-cyclicality aspect peaks out, you will see flight of capital into bullion. Now, whether it's happening in 2016 or 2017, a whole lot of monetary policies will determine that. But yes, the end of pro-cyclicality is the beginning of a bull market in bullion.
All right, so that's the view really coming in for the gold prices. Buy it today, but hold it for a longer term is the view coming in from all our guests there. With that, Vijay, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us. Ditto for you, Som and Mr. KP Singh. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing your views on this auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya. With that, it's a wrap on Hot Commodities. Wishing our viewers yet again a very happy Akshaya Tritiya. Stay tuned.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.